So, hello, peace be upon you. Welcome to another episode of the Happiness Revolution, where the point of the show, or these episodes, is not to win an argument. I try to introduce this series in different ways so that people can understand where I'm coming from and what's the point of all of this. And one is not to win an argument, because that's often what we try to do. We don't try to come to the truth and make other people's lives better. Often, not everybody, but it's a very common thing that you see where people stick to one point of view and get rude to each other, all this kind of silly stuff, where really we're all one big community and we should see ourselves as one big community, not as a bunch of individuals who've got pride and stuff like that, and we're trying to individually beat this person in an argument, all this kind of stuff. So today's episode is about weed. It's a very old topic, like most of the topics I talk about, really. Should we take weed? I don't really need to say, but I kind of like came across somebody yesterday and we were talking about it, whether or not it should be allowed. So that made me decide to talk about weed today. So I said the thing about not trying to win an argument for a reason, and the real reason why we should do anything, and this topic can easily be the way we direct this issue should be based on trying to help humanity. So it's not trying to be on this side or that side. So I'm not on this side or that side, I'm from both sides. I am on the side of helping humanity. So let's start explaining a few things. Weed by itself is not bad, it's just a plant, and I believe that all plants and all creatures and everything, they have their purpose and their benefit. They're not, even for example, poisonous, let's talk about poisonous snakes. Even their poison itself is used to what's it called? It's called an antivenom. You can make antivenom from venom, right? You know that, I think, maybe that you can, if somebody's bitten by a snake, you can use venom from the same snake, I believe, and make them well again or something. So everything has a purpose, and I'm sure weed, marijuana or ganja, whatever you want to call it, has a use and purpose. But it doesn't mean that you just smoke it all the time. Like medicine has a purpose, but you don't use it all the time. So now the other thing that I want to say, which I said before because I did a little episode about drugs, was that I don't want to demonize people. I don't want to say you are on whatever weed, whatever it is, therefore you're a bad person. In fact, that would be the wrong attitude. How does that really help people? The attitude should be, is this really good for you? You're my brother, you're my sister. Is this good for you? That's the real question. Now we know, you know from your own experience of doing anything to your body, obviously your body's a very delicate apparatus, okay, and we know that even supermarket food, we're worried about supermarket food, you know, the way it's filled with pesticides and all that kind of stuff, and you don't even taste the pesticides. So you should be careful about what you put in your body. And it will have an effect, especially something that is so potent that you feel the effect in your brain. Otherwise you wouldn't bother taking it up. So you might think, okay, now he's going on to the other side, he's very anti-weed, he as in me. Not exactly. I was checking out a song, can't remember what it was called, and then somehow the topic of weed, marijuana came into it. And some nurse was saying, "Oh, I've got depression, and I'm taking all these terrible drugs, these rubbish drugs by these massive pharmaceuticals, and I've tried out weed, and that helped me a lot." I'm not surprised. Like I said before, it can definitely have its benefits used in the right way. But then going back to another side, which is not this side or that side of the argument, not the two traditional for and against kind of argument, sides of the argument. Drugs by themselves are not the answer. The reason why drugs or weed, whatever, let's stick to weed for now and talk about cocaine in a minute and compare it to weed. The reason why any drug would be needed for non-medicinal purposes, if you're honest to yourself, is there's something missing in your life. Now, if I say honest to myself, a lot of people already agree with that. Why would you need to take, I'm really rubbish with multi-syllable words, so why would you need to take a hallucinogenic drug that makes you hallucinate, or changes your awareness of the world? Why would you need to take that to make your life better if you're taking it for recreational purposes? So some people might say, yes, I agree, my life's not great, but what are you going to do? What am I going to do about it? Well, that's what the happiness revolution is about. It's about changing your life. One of the reasons why life isn't so good, especially in the West, even though we have lots of money and stuff, is because we've forgotten the basic things, or we've ignored, as children, a lot of the children have been brought up, they've been taught the wrong things about what is important to happiness. They've been told big screens, big TV screens, this, that, whatever, all these materialistic things, those are the things that make you happy. So naturally what's going to happen is, because those things definitely do not make you happy, they're just tools towards things that could possibly make you happy. For example, a computer, great, very useful, but playing computer games all day, very bad for you. You're not connecting to human beings in person all the time. That's very important. Physical connection between people is very important. So my point is that the lifestyle we're living in, especially in the West, and these videos are mainly for the West because there are different ailments, different diseases, mental diseases, spiritual diseases in the East. Actually, increasingly they're becoming like the West anyway. We need to change our lifestyle, not simply take drugs. So what have I covered? I've covered, yes, weed could be good, medicinal purposes. Weed can be bad, because you know it affects your body. Your body is a delicate thing. Take care of it. Yeah, I'm not trying to win an argument, just telling you what I think is good for you. Of course, you can do what you want. I'm only on YouTube. I'm not going to force you to do anything. So there is that. And of course, if I was to go into more detail about the social aspects of the world, we know that people have lost the ability to really connect with each other. They have very poor understanding of themselves and what they need. So let's start with girlfriend, boyfriend, relationships. If you're going to go in and out of relationships, people go, oh, we kind of treat each other like commodities. So, oh, I got an iPhone, and then I got, what was it, iPhone 4, then I rejected iPhone 4 and I got iPhone 5. We've because we become so materialistic, that mindset where everything is disposable, people have been put into that category, and we have girlfriend number one, and then something didn't work out, either they rejected us or the other way around, whatever, and then you move on to girlfriend number two, or vice versa if you're talking about boyfriends, whatever, I don't know, whatever it is. And we underestimate the negative effects of that, going through one relationship after the other, using people as if they're disposable. That person who is your girlfriend or that person who is your boyfriend is not a commodity. He or she is your sister or brother, real human being that you must respect if you're in a relationship with them or not, whether they're horrible to you or not, which is something I was talking about before. We've forgotten the formula for relationships, which is love for all and hatred for none. Even if somebody does something really bad, you don't hate them. Well, how does the saying go? You hate the sin, not the sinner. So that's a way of explaining the idea of love for all and hatred for none. Okay, so I mean, there's loads of things to say about this topic, I suppose. So the point of the happiness revolution is to find solutions and start with yourself. So one of the reasons why we fall into a dependency on weed and other drugs is because of our attitude ourselves. So let's stop talking about society and how society is wrong. We've got to start with ourselves so we can fix society, because if everybody blames society, that won't change anything. We've got to change ourselves. We've got to be the change we want to see. Hey, I'm coming up with all these phrases. I think that was Martin Luther King. So we've got to be that change, and so let's talk about some solutions. And the way we're going to be the change is starting to look out for other people. We've got to start saying, I'm not going to feel sorry for myself, although in the beginning, feel free, because in the beginning you're going to start off a weak human being, and you become stronger as you follow these age-old principles of happiness. So you become a stronger person, a person who can help more and more people. So feel free, give yourself some slack, in the beginning, but don't think that you're always going to be dependent on drugs and all these kind of things. Think how you're going to help other people, because that mindset is going to make you happier. Life is about fighting your ego. Your ego is about short-term thinking about yourself, is about taking care of number one instead of thinking about everybody else. And we know that won't make you happy, because you know what? My baby daughter's crying. I think maybe that's a good time to end things. There are lots of other reasons why people take weed, I suppose, like fashion and copying other people. And again, once you become a stronger individual, when you start thinking about other people, thinking about all these other principles of happiness, you'll become stronger, and you won't be following other people, and you'll see the silly reasons why you do stuff. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was useful.